Good evening. It's Saturday, the 12th of April. You're tuned in to our 6 p.m. newscast coming to you from ARIRANG's news centre in Seoul. Our top story this evening, working-level talks between Seoul and Tokyo on Japan's wartime sexual enslavement of Korean women could be held in Seoul as early as next Tuesday, April 15th. The Japanese daily Asahi Shimbun reported Saturday that the Director General of Tokyo's Asian and Oceans Affairs Bureau, Junichi Ihara, and his Korean counterpart, Lee Sang-deok, have set the sex slave issue as the main agenda item for their meeting. It's estimated that some 200,000 women, mostly from Korea and China, were forced to become sex slaves for Japanese troops during World War II. During next week's talks, the two sides are also expected to touch on possible summit talks between President Park Geun-hye and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, as well as North Korean issues. President Park and Prime Minister Abe have yet to hold bilateral talks since both came to power early last year. Now, North Korea has launched a stinging verbal attack on South Korean President Park Geun-hye, calling her recent unification initiatives irrelevant and nonsensical. In her Dresden declaration made late last month in the former East German city of the same name, President Park proposed 3 ways to bring the two Koreas together: increasing humanitarian aid, holding more family reunions with North Korea, and assisting in North Korea's infrastructure projects. A spokesperson for the North's National Defense Commission said Saturday that the declaration was made by someone who is ignorant of the present state of North-South relations. The official also said President Park's 3 proposals would do little to improve relations between the two Koreas. The world's top finance officials are calling on the United States to follow through on previously agreed IMF reforms in order to boost the fund's resources and give more power to emerging markets. Wrapping up a joint meeting of the G20 and International Monetary Fund in Washington, Seoul's finance minister also pushed the need for balanced global growth. Song Ji-son reports.
Finance chiefs from around the globe have given the United States until the end of the year to ratify long-delayed reforms to the International Monetary Fund. Members of the G20 have threatened to move forward without it if Washington fails to do so. The delay in reforms agreed 4 years ago has overshadowed even the crisis in Ukraine and the spillover effects of ultra-easy monetary policies in advanced economies. G20 finance ministers and central bankers said they were deeply disappointed with the delay and urged the U.S. to implement the reforms as a matter of urgency.
There is no question about the current adequacy of the IMF's resources, and there is consensus on the absolute importance of maintaining a strong and adequately resourced IMF. At our meeting, we agreed on a way forward which keeps the focus on the priority of passing the 2010 reforms in the U.S. Congress.
The reforms would double the IMF's resources and hand more voting power to countries with emerging markets. Developing countries also pushed for a balanced economic recovery and cooperation from all countries. Korea's finance minister Hyun Oh-suk warned that any drastic shifts in advanced economies' monetary policies could bounce back at them.
It's critically important that developed countries pace their monetary policy changes as they have an impact on developing economies. Data shows that a 1 percentage point drop in developing countries' growth knocks developed countries' growth by 0.1 of a percentage point.
Hyun added U.S. Federal Reserve stimulus tapering could have a negative effect on emerging economies, but Korea remains on the recovery track. Song Ji-son, ARIRANG News.
Now, the excitement is steadily building for football fans, with the 2014 World Cup kicking off in Brazil in exactly 2 months' time now. Korean companies are also looking to get into the action and are starting to make some serious inroads, in fact, into the Samba nation, as our Kim Min-ji reports.
Brazil, a country of passion, football and samba, boasts the world's 7th largest economy with a population of 200 million. On this highway from the airport to Sao Paulo, Brazil's largest city, billboards displaying Korean corporations are easily spotted these days. In fact, department stores and electronic shops in Brazil have seen a surge in sales in Korean televisions ahead of the World Cup.
With the World Cup approaching, I am here to buy a Korean TV because I want to watch the matches on a big screen.
Korean companies now make up nearly 60% of Brazil's TV market.
Korean TVs offer the best quality and have gained the trust of the Brazilian people. Sales are jumping ahead of the World Cup.
Korean corporations have held product launch events in Brazil, while one corporation is even sponsoring the Brazilian football team.
We are planning on various sports marketing campaigns by sponsoring the national football team.
Korean companies are also diving into other markets in Brazil. Through its luxurious compact car lines, Korean automakers have raised their market share to almost 7% in the South American country. Sales of other products such as smartphones, laptops, and refrigerators have also been on the rise, up by between 20 to 60% each year. With the World Cup less than 10 weeks away now, Brazil will likely become a more and more popular destination for corporations. Kim Min-ji, ARIRANG News.
Search and rescue officials believe they have received signals from the black box of the missing Malaysian flight MH370. Officials say an Australian vessel has, on 4 occasions now, picked up signals consistent with flight recorders. Speaking in China during an official visit, Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott said teams had very much narrowed the search area, but warned that as the so-called pings are rapidly fading, no one should underestimate the difficulties of locating it. Batteries in the black box are already past their normal 30-day life, making the search to find it even more urgent. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 was flying from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing, all the way back on March 8th now, when it lost contact with air traffic controllers and just vanished from radar. The United States is calling on other countries to do more to help support cash-strapped Ukraine. Speaking at a meeting of the International Monetary Fund, U.S. Treasury Secretary Jacob Lew said Ukraine's sizable financing needs meant other nations must add to its $1 billion loan guarantee. The U.S. official also said there was strong and broad unity within the G7 to support increasing sanctions on Russia if Moscow escalates the crisis even further. Meanwhile, Ukraine's interim prime minister offered on Friday to devolve more powers to the country's more pro-Russia regions and is holding talks with regional leaders in Donetsk, where activists are demanding self-rule. Now in sports, LA Dodgers pitcher Ryu Hyun-jin has put in yet another dazzling performance, extending his scoreless road streak to 3 games in an easy 6-0 win over the Arizona Diamondbacks. Looking in complete control during his 7 innings, Ryu held Arizona scoreless on just 2 hits. This after throwing 5 scoreless innings against the Diamondbacks in the season opener in Australia. The 27-year-old Korean has not allowed a run in his last 19 overall innings against Arizona. Korean cable operators launched the world's first ultra-high-definition TV broadcasting service this week with a picture quality that is 4 times clearer than standard HD. The service is expected to revolutionize the global TV industry. Son Jung-in reports.
Korea has started delivering ultra-high-definition services through cable TV channels, making it the first country in the world to commercialize such a service. It boasts images with 4 times the resolution of existing HD displays.
This very first launch is expected to serve as a stepping stone for leading the global market of UHD equipment, devices, and contents.
Called UMax, the cable channel features diverse contents ranging from soap operas and movies to documentaries 20 hours a day. Viewers in Korea and 200 countries around the world can enjoy the service free of charge for the time being.
We will promote investment and development for the new UHD era so the audience can enjoy it.
UHD monitors display 8.3 million pixels, which is over 4 times as many as the amount in regular HD screens, offering a resolution that can render the finest details. Already big names in the industry such as Samsung, LG, and Sony are scrambling to unveil their new models of Ultra HD TVs, allowing users to enjoy their favorite programs at speeds 10 times faster than the conventional 100 megabit per second connection. The service carrier plans to broadcast Brazil World Cup games and the Incheon Asian Games while investing about $40 million through 2016 to secure an archive of UHD TV contents. 손정인, ARIRANG News.
Now, before we go, let's take a look at the weekend weather. Most of the country is under a thick layer of cloud this evening. It'll be a relatively mild night, with the low only dipping down to 9 degrees Celsius in Seoul. Now, Sunday will be another cloudy day, but it will feel warmer than today, with the mercury topping out at 22 degrees Celsius in the capital. The rest of the country will see highs in the early to mid-20s. Now, let's take a look at the weather conditions wherever you are around the world. And that's all for now. We'll be back again for our next newscast at 10 p.m. Korea time.